Hey, beautiful beings. Happy 2021. Just wanted to remind you that you're the infinite in, well, manifested in physical form. And everything is the infinite manifested in form. So whatever you see is you. And only when you can start to merge everything that's manifested back into the infinite will you realize what you truly are. And you won't live in conflict anymore because you're fighting everything in the external world. You want it to go your way. And even internally, you're fighting yourself. And with that comes a lot of craziness because you can't accept yourself for all the millions of ways you've manifested yourself as. And maybe this year, perhaps, you'll kind of break away from all the distractions that you're in and start to merge back into yourself, your truth. And with that will come a lot of great benefits, which I'm not even going to explain here because it'll be too long. But yeah, maybe that's something you want to try this year. And you can start by just merging yourself, all the aspects of yourself that you hide away from, like the good, the bad, whatever you hide away of yourself, try to bring that back into one thing, because you basically like fragmented yourself. You don't like some aspect of reality, the world, so you shove that away or you hate it. But when you hate it, you're fragmenting the oneness into many. And until you can realize that all that stuff needs to be put back together to make you whole, you're going to be fighting everyone and yourself. And it's kind of sad to see that when people are constantly blaming others. Just the world, how it is. It's like, it's cool in one way that we can do all this stuff and like argue with people and like there's not just one way to live. That's beautiful. But for your peace and the discovery of who you really are, you have to learn how to merge that back. And it's possible. And it's beautiful. And it'll be the happiest thing you'll ever do in your life. The most joyous, the most fulfillment. Because when you're whole again, guess what? There's nothing that you need to do in this world because you know that you're all of it. And this sounds like kind of fictitious and like, how do you do this or whatever, but just you got to take a step and be like a seeker. Be the seeker of truth. If that's what you become in your life, and especially learn how to spot your own deceptions, because that's what the mind does. It fragments oneness. When you can drop the mind, there is oneness. But you have to learn how to now, instead of being in the mind, which we all were taught that we just got to learn new things and just be preoccupied, constantly chasing something, doing things, then you're just basically used by the mind, which is a kind of fragmenter of reality. And when you can drop it, learn how to drop it, because that's the challenge, because that's what you've been using all your life, this tool, which is useful to manipulate reality or manipulate the physical world, but there's other ways. And yeah, so maybe that's something you want to try this year. And if you do, I have a book that I've written called Be Human, Not a Zombie, a guide to finding your fundamental nature. It's one of it's like a tool that you can use to kind of start realizing who you really are. And there's all sorts of people out there sharing this message to realize who you really are, but most people are just too distracted because everything is just shiny and fun, like shows on Netflix. Like there's billions of shows now or something like that, it seems. And it's like when one ends, another one begins. So you're ready for the next one. And I'm not saying you can't enjoy those things. I like them too. Like, but only when you can kind of realize that no matter can I say this? When you realize that things are just going to constantly be new. So, like a new show, a new car, a new house, a new job, like all that stuff is constantly going to be um, brought forward and forward. And you're always looped in this trap of watching the next show or chasing the next house or chasing the next car or chasing the next person. That's all just distractions. And only when you're like, okay, I had enough of this, like I know the only way I'll be fulfilled is by becoming whole. And by becoming whole, you must drop the mind because it's the fragmenter. It's making it seem that you're not whole. You need to chase something to be whole. And yeah, like if you're tired of that, you have to be truly tired because you can't just be like, okay, I'm just gonna dabble in this a little bit. No, you got to get to the point where you're like, I'm fed up of this, just these fragments of myself, and I want to know the whole thing. And when you get to that point, that's when you're really gonna go on this journey of seeking, and it's beautiful. Um, and it's okay if you're not ready either. Like, play around in the forms, keep going. That's okay. But perhaps you might be ready. So if you are, check out my resources like my website, behumannotazzombie.com, or my book, or these videos. They're just kind of little tips to maybe push you in that direction. But it's all good wherever you are. Accept that. And yeah, just try to be as nice to other people or creatures as possible because they're you. Alrighty, peace.